Welcome to the DilaBois podcast. I am Pete, here with
Daniel
and Steve,
and we are here to talk about stuff. And we're not quite sure what we're talking about, but we're going to do it. And it's going to be fun.
I believe you're wrong there, Pete. I believe we have lots to talk about. We know exactly what we're going to talk about.
Okay, well, let's get right into it with what are we doing?
Well, I figured, since we're a lot of gamers, let's talk about some gaming stuff, what's in the news with the games. Might as well be like gaming Keemstars here.
Drama news? Yo.
I got some drama for you. 18 plus only. Watch till the end.
What's it going to be?
Watch till the end.
Okay.
18 plus only.
18 plus only. We are recording this on the 22nd of August.
Yep.
And just yesterday, Overwatch announced, a game that we play pretty frequently, announced a new map. Junkertown. And we just got a new map too. Well, the PTR did at least.
PTR's had the Widowmaker estate for a while now. Play with different death matches and whatnot. That's been pretty cool. I haven't played it yet, but it looks fun.
Definitely seems like they're gearing up for a lot of cool new stuff coming out. We got the Deathmatch, Junkertown, Widow's map.
We have a reworking of Diva, which should be a big change up.
The Junkrat buff, which isn't huge, but it's going to be cool to have 2 mines.
The buff is 2 mines, and then the ult also gets buffed, doesn't it?
Yeah, they said they're either going to make his tire faster or stronger. I don't know.
So what they did was they made it so now when you are using your ult, when you climb walls, your timer stops. So you can use it to stall it out. So you can, start, everyone hears it, they get ready for it, they run away. Then you can use it to stall, hold out for, as long as you need to. And they group back together, you just drop one and explode.
Interesting.
Ooh, that's going to be cool. Yeah, Junkrat is definitely a really cool character. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's, the main thing with anytime they announce any sort of update or working for a character is what's that going to do to the meta of the game. Like who's gonna be the go-to character? Who's gonna be how's it gonna affect comp?
Yeah, and I think that his reworking will definitely help his survivability in a lot of higher match games, because I've noticed when I watch people who are really high up there, the Grandmaster ranks, when they play Junkrat, it's really hard for them because you can't just outright shoot someone. You gotta bounce off your shots and hit them. And I think having these double concussive mines will really help that. Mm-hmm. And I'm really cool to see this Diva rework, because she's a huge pick no matter where you are and what rank. Even in quick play, she's a big pick because she's such a versatile tank. And now that the defense matrix is going down, but we get those missiles, it'll really make her aggressive and turn her into a Winston kind of tank, where you're really just up there with the aggressiveness.
Mm-hmm.
I skimmed through the article that you sent me on that. Is the nerf just in her defense matrix, or is she getting nerfed to other places as well?
Just the defense matrix. They've essentially cut the time. You can have it up in half.
Oh, I also did see that now while flying, she can use her regular fire, which is going to be really cool. Going to be interesting, definitely.
I feel like that's not going to be as big of a deal as it sounds like, but we'll definitely see.
Mm-hmm.
The flying and shooting?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It'll allow you to combat pharaohs now, or just high up enemies, which would be nice.
She has always been able to use her defense matrix while flying, though, right?
Yes, that's always been a staple of her play.
At least as long as I've been playing.
Mm-hmm.
And I know one of the reasons Junkrat got the 2 concussion mines that they stated is he could also be a Pharah counter.
I wouldn't say a counter, but yeah, he'll definitely be a viable option to fight a Pharah.
Yeah. Because typically in the past, you could see a Junkrat fight a Pharah by waiting for a concussion mine to re-get one, then launching himself, but now he'll just be able to do it without waiting.
Yeah, he'll be able to throw one to the ground, wait, and he'll have 3 ready at one point and just jump.
Oh my gosh. That's insane. 3 concussion mines.
It reminds me of watching speedrunners play Super Metroid, where they can go into ball form and do the bomb hop to make it up to the top of the map to find some sort of hidden path.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be crazy.
The bomb hopping I always tried it as a younger kid, and it always frustrated me.
Mm-hmm. I can always get it by accident and can never recreate it.
Yeah, I would just sit there and spam it and not have the timing for it right.
So many games have a rocket jump feature, and I was never good at it when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they definitely made it a little bit easier for Junkrat, but
They kind of built it into his character.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made him all about it with the explosives and whatnot. I've even seen people do rocket jumps with Pharah, Soldier, and Zarya, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
People try to do that. They find a way to break the game.
That's what players do.
Mm.
Any inkling of exploitation they can get, they'll get it out.
Yep.
Like I guess that's a big thing on developers. You got to make sure everything is airtight. Like,
yeah, you can't have anything left over, or else you end up like Smash Bros. We have wave dashing going on, and they had no idea that was the thing they could do with it, but people found it.
people broke Melee like down to its bits.
Like, I like the joke that when you have professional Melee's player, they don't see Melee, they see frames.
Yeah, it's like Mewtwo King. That's the guy that did like the full in-depth research on all the frames, right?
I think so.
As a player, like you can go to his like website and he'll break down everything by frames, and it's just like it's really intense. Like I don't even comprehend
I
that.
just like playing the games.
Yeah.
I don't want to break them.
I don't want to see into the Matrix.
Yeah.
L canceling and wave dashing and
Bunny hopping.
Melee was definitely an interesting like beast.
Yeah, but another news for gaming, we just had the SNES Classic overnight for a few people go on sale for pre-orders, which is crazy because I had no idea, and I was hoping to at least get a pre-order in.
Does this mean we're gonna have to wait in line?
Probably, like I did with my Switch.
Did it go on pre-order everywhere? Or just...
Not everywhere. I think it was just GameStop or Best Buy. I think it was one of those two.
We'll have to see if this is official. Did Nintendo say?
No one on Nintendo yet, from what I've heard.
Because they went for pre-sale in Walmart, then everyone got their pre-order canceled because it was not supposed to happen.
Yeah, the rumor is everyone else will today. If they don't, that might mean that Best Buy gets theirs canceled or GameStop, whoever it was.
I know a lot of people got their Walmart ones canceled.
Yeah, which is sad.
These classics are insane though. Like,
honestly, I'm more excited for the SNES Classic than the NES Classic. I guess I was too young to the point where when I was growing up with video games, NES was old enough that I couldn't really grasp it. I was more into the N64 and the SNES.
Yeah, we were young enough. We were young enough that we weren't playing super advanced games. Like, I think did the N64 come out in our lifetime or right before our lifetime?
For me, it was. I'm pretty sure it came out in '95. If I remember correctly. So that was like right when I was born.
Even for us, the NES was. It was a lot older and was a lot less advanced than what we could play. The Super Nintendo, though, I remember people having those around still, like, a lot. That and the Genesis.
I misspoke. N64 came out in '96, so yes, it was technically in our lifetime.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, I had a cousin who had the NES, and I would play I'd play Kirby. But I didn't really play Kirby. I just knew I could fly to the top of the screen and then go right, and I'd win.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really playing. It was just, oh yeah, I'm doing something.
Yeah, I had a SNES growing up, and definitely a good amount of Battletoads going on, a good amount of pinball and Mario.
I had a Genesis, and I'm kind of sad that I never had an SNES to like play because I feel like I missed a lot of games. I've gone back and played a lot of them on like
emulators. Not
really just emulators, but Nintendo does one thing great. It's giving you ways to pay for every game they've ever put out 300 times.
That's true.
Except on the Switch.
Yeah. During my high school years, I had a lot of time playing SNES games when I should have been studying with my laptop and playing emulators and stuff. So I got to play a lot of cool games like Chrono Trigger and Mario Kart and Super Mario World.
That was such a big thing in high school. People passing around emulators on like a thumb drive and
Yep. Guilty as a dealer.
You were a game dealer.
Yep, I give many people Java-based emulators so they could play it on their computers that should have blocked most emulators.
Gosh, we had these like crappy Dell laptops. And I remember seeing people playing like Call of Duty on it. Like somehow they got it working. I'm like, is that even fun? Can it even run? Like
it'll run.
I think Halo was one of the big ones. Halo, like the first.
Yeah,
like,
Combat Evolved.
Yeah, that was one that like people actually played on like the network at school. Like, together. Which I never got to like play it with anyone else besides just like the story mission, but like it ran.
Yeah, it definitely ran, but it was.
Yeah. I remember I had Super Smash Bros. On the N64 emulator, and I had to have it always plugged in and on the lowest settings to be able to play.
Yeah.
A big thing with that, not getting too off topic, I want to go back to the classic, but this is an interesting topic too. I remember Flash games were also a big thing that people passed around. I remember Super Smash Bros. Flash was one of those.
I remember Flash games in general had a huge explosion back during that time period, not just at like our school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm kind of wonder if like Flash games are still bigger for like younger crowds, or like they're just kind of dying off now.
I think the crowd just shifted from Flash games to mobile games, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need a game on your laptop if you have your phone, kind of thing.
And
it's kind of funny to see like some of the games actually made it to console, like the Ninja game N Plus or whatever.
N Plus made it to console.
Fancy Pants.
Fancy
was a big
Pants,
one.
yeah.
They didn't get I don't know if it got a console release, but definitely got a full mobile game release.
I had it on my 360.
I want to say I have my 360 too, actually.
Yeah, and it also has like a Chrome app now that you can just get.
Yeah.
There's a couple more games like that like wasn't the original Meat Boy a Flash game, and then it became Super Meat Boy.
I think so, actually.
I
feel like a lot of Newgrounds, like Flash games and like developers on that, like they ended up making their games other places as well.
Yeah,
Newgrounds was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching a video talking about Newgrounds and how a lot of the original animators and creators ended up making it in the AAA market, or at least somewhere close to that, because of how much time and effort they put into their Flash games. The developers were like, hey, I can see the work you're doing. I can tell you're doing a good job. Here, come with us. We'll give you the resources.
Yeah.
Ended up making,
I mean, it spawned some incredibly talented people. I mean, I feel like everyone recognizes like the name Tom Fulp from Newgrounds because he put his name in front of like every like Newground thing.
Yeah.
Then we got people like the Game Grumps guys, Ego Raptor and Ross. Like,
yeah.
They're able to do a lot with their animation.
Mm-hmm. And even expand out of animation and stuff. And I know a lot of indie developers were Newgrounds developers and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just Flash games. I hope that kids in high school still play Flash games.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do.
There were some great ones.
I'm sure they do, just because it's the easiest to get. They're easiest to get around blocks, and they're easiest to just get to.
I remember Bubble Trouble was my jam.
Yeah.
We're up with Bubble Trouble.
I remember people getting crazy about that, like trying to talk to the highest level and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Bubble Trouble. Remember the game like Avalanche? You're a little marshmallow and
Yep.
you're climbing up these.
That was a big one. I remember when Happy Wheels first started. The game that helped launch PewDiePie to like the top.
I remember people playing it when I was in like 9th grade.
Yep.
And then like not hearing about it for a couple of years, and
Well-
then seeing this huge YouTube explosion.
Well, I feel like the thing was that Happy Wheels had like its own levels, and then it kind of came with the online levels that like kind of made it like explode and crazy.
After people had it for a couple of years to start developing like more levels for it and stuff.
Yeah.
And it had a lot of shock value, which helps any YouTuber really.
Yeah. And there was like stuff like Cube Runner and Line like Runner and stuff like that.
Oh, were you like running on the floating platforms and
I
stuff?
think that was just Run.
Yeah.
He's talking about
Cube Runner was like you're like a little triangle going through like a cube field.
Yeah.
It's like a mine.
Yeah,
field.
yeah.
That was like middle school for me.
And everyone has horrible memories of like the Impossible game
Yep.
and like
Oof, the Impossible game. The Impossible Quiz. Remember
Impossible Quiz, yeah.
I remember the Impossible Quiz for like a week when it first got big at my middle school. Everyone kind of like had a leaderboard where we just kind of like, hey, what number did you get to? I got to this number. Did you hear about this guy? He got to this number.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun.
I remember in elementary school, you weren't in my class, Steve, but we lived in the same neighborhood. We were on shift 2, our 5th grade
right.
year, which means that we had to wait 45 minutes after school got out for the buses to get back. And our classroom had 3 of those Mac computers, and you guys know the ones I'm talking about, the big colored dome ones.
It's all in one computer.
Yeah. With like the perfectly circular mouse with like the one weird shaped button.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were something. But
Design.
we were on those, and Newgrounds was blocked on those computers. But what wasn't blocked was the site Albino Black Sheep. And we would watch like Flash animations, like the what's it called? The Ultimate Showdown.
Ultimate Showdown.
The llama song.
Creator versus something where it was like a guy makes a stick figure and the stick figure fights someone in MS Paint.
Animator versus animation. He actually just put out a new one. He put out animation versus YouTube. It's actually really interesting.
I think those videos back in the day really got me into like, helped me get into like animated things like anime or anything. Because I'd watch that and be like, whoa, that looks really cool. and then go look for more ones online, find different ones, and like help snowball that interest into what it is.
Top 10 anime fight scenes.
Yep.
Yeah, but we would sit there and we would like watch those Flash videos, or we would go to
My favorite was Brain
Potter
Pop.
Puppet Pals.
Oh.
Remember that?
Yeah.
What were you saying?
I was saying Brain Pop.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I just liked watching stuff on information. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know.
I remember elementary school, we got in trouble for watching Potter Puppet Palace. And I remember the teacher was like really upset. She was like, well, I can't believe like y'all are watching this. I don't understand why you're watching this. And I was like, I think it was an episode where Dumbledore gets like naked or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like so blown away why she was so upset. It's like a little like whatever video. It's like they're puppets. There's not like there's no dong. There's no like
Zero dong zone.
yeah, but I remember she was really upset. And I was like, okay.
Our teacher didn't mind us watching Potter Puppet Pals. What we got in trouble for was going to I'm not sure if it still exists, but it was called StarWarsSpoofs.com. Did you hear that?
Mm-mm.
I remember specifically there was a short where like Han Solo cuts open the Tauntaun and it's just full of candy. But I can't remember. There was one of them that like we got in a lot of trouble for watching.
I remember there's one time our class got in trouble. We had it was like a Flash. I had one of Flash games, and it had reworked like console games. Like it was like a Flash version of Sonic, a Flash version of Mario. But there was one for was it Kill All Humans, the Alien game?
Yeah.
They made a Flash game version of it, and the rumor was if you got caught playing it, you would get expelled, and there was no coming back from it.
Yo.
It's just that easy to not get taught in our school system. You play a game, you're just gone.
Yeah.
You get no knowledge.
No, I remember in one of my classes I had a student that was running a Google Chrome games website.
I know him. I work with him. We work at the same place.
No, I know who you're thinking of, but I'm talking about someone else who you also know. But he ran one of them, and the administrator came in. He was sitting on his laptop typing, and the administrator said, opened the door, yelled his name, told him to put his hands in the air off the computer, took his laptop, and escorted out of the room. He was suspended for like 2 weeks.
Oh, I remember talking about it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was very interesting because they handled it like it was some sort of drug bust, and it's like
Yeah, it was like, put your hands up, confiscate his materials, and like the administrator's standing there watching him, and it's like, it's just video games, like chill.
That's the only thing I got in trouble for, is because I completely like unlocked my computer and like didn't have any like restrictions. Yeah, the only restriction I had was like the internet was at the school was obviously like blocked and stuff, but I unlocked it so I could use like any like what did they call it when you could like
Ultra Surf.
Yeah, like
It was a program that was originally made for people in China whose government regulates their like internet access, and
we used
developed
it in school.
We used it in
Wow.
school. I remember you gave it to me, and I tried to like hide it from our IT guy. I tried to like put it somewhere, delete it, but he ended up like connecting the dots and be like, oh, this % Ultra Surf. And I was like, dang it. I was trying to subvert it, but it wouldn't work.
that's the only thing I ever got in trouble for.
You worked with the help desk guy, right?
Yeah, I worked in the help desk all 4 years. It was
You
fun.
were the inside man, playing games and breaking games.
I knew how to unhook my wireless card to not appear on the internet, so I could just offline game and no one would know.
Oh, because... Okay, they always talked about this, and I think you would know. Could they actually look into any computer that they wanted to at any time?
Absolutely, because I did it all the time.
That's crazy.
When like Flash games were so big, what we would do for fun is when it was slow, we'd get onto the network. We would go to someone, at random, see if they're gaming. If they're gaming, we'd get on and we just hold down the left or right arrow, and it'd mess their game up, whatever game they were playing. And they'd be like, "Oh, what's going on?" They'd like restart their computer. We'd wait a couple minutes, come back to that same person, they're playing game again, mess with them again. And we'd just do that, and eventually we'd be like, hey, stop playing games, and they'd shut their computer real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I want to hear. People would always talk about, yeah, they typed on my sticky note, stop playing games. And I'm like, I don't know if I believe this or not. Like,
I 100% did that.
Oh, you did?
Yep. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
You narc.
Yeah. Hey kids, want to buy some games? Totally didn't put any software to track you on them.
Gosh, Steve, you gave me a flash drive once. Full. It was like I have it saved on my desktop computer. It was just full of files for Flash games and stuff.
Flash games, emulators. I still have it. I keep it for
There was
like.
also
nostalgia.
you had emulators, and in the emulator folder, I just remember there was one picture of the legendary beast from Pokemon. I don't know why that picture was in there with all the emulators, but it was just like Entei, Raikou, and Suicune.
I think I had saved it for a background, and like
Okay.
I accidentally put it in that folder, and I just kind of kept it.
It's always funny to see, like, because it gets passed around, like, everywhere. Like, who got it from who, like who has, like the one picture, like, that was, like, a background in, like, a folder or something like that.
Yeah. It's cool because you'll pass these things and it's like, I wonder where these like files originated. Like you can add to it, you can take from it, pass it to someone else. It's
Well,
like,
I remember I pulled all mine from just random emulator sites, and I made sure they're Java based. And I know for a fact my exact folder is still being used at our high school now because I gave it to my brother when he went to high school and he played it. He gave it to his younger friend, who gave it to his friend. So right now, currently, they're high schoolers still playing folders that are still named the exact same thing I named them.
your legacy continues.
Yeah, my legacy is still living on at my high school.
It's crazy that because of the rules and restrictions and that we're bored teenagers with time on our hands and we don't want to learn, like we created this weird underground network of gaming. Like people would make these pop-up sites on Google that like would be able to shut down and reopen under new domains that couldn't be blocked because you'd have to block Google.
I have distinct memory of a friend of mine who was talking about how he used Google sites to get around certain things, and when they would figure out a way to block that specific site without blocking Google, he could just go back to Google, switch the name up a little bit, have it back again.
I remember that because, like, it was like, what's the new code for the games this week?
Oh yeah,
what's the new URL?
Give me the deets, yo.
I remember we called it, was it New Study Hall?
Yeah.
And then there was, remember Cool Math Games?
Yeah.
Which, like, you went to that website, even on the homepage, it looks like it's a learning site. And then you go deep into it and you find the games. I don't think, that wasn't run by anyone out of school, but, like, that was definitely, like, a,
It's because it had the educational tag.
It was a good,
yeah.
Yeah, that's just the funny thing about not just high schoolers, but people in general. You give us blocks, we find a way around them. You block those off, we find more ways.
I remember people who would unblock their computers, like, fully, and it's just like...
It wasn't that hard, to be honest with you. You just needed to sideload like your own version of Windows, and you're fine.
Yeah. People... We abuse those laptops. I'm surprised they gave us laptops, like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
That's true. I'm glad we did, because it helped, like, spark my interest for computers in general.
Yeah. It's definitely something you need going into, like, the modern age we're in now.
Did we have... Our first year in high school, we got brand new laptops, right? Or did we have 1 year with the old laptops?
No, our freshman year was our first year with the new ones.
Yeah, because...
They were still using MacBooks up until then.
We got lucky, because we got... When we went into middle school, we got brand new MacBooks. And then we went into high school, we got brand new Dell.
We switched to Dell, because Dell was able to cut them a better deal with a computer that was in... spec-wise better, but had cheaper parts and easier to fix.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
and I think we had those same ones for the rest of our time there. I think they switched them out the year we left.
They ended up switching up for a slightly different model that made all the hard drive solid state to cut down on the hard drive crashes, which were a huge problem when we were in school.
Well, because if you have a spinning drive and you have a million kids just, like, throwing them around their backpacks and just like
getting kicked in the hall.
Yeah, like it's on the floor,
it's
like in the someone's backpack is getting kicked. And they gave us like safety bags, but no one used them because they were
those little pouches.
Yeah,
threw one out.
I still have mine because
Really?
like I said I should give it back, and they're like, nah. I was like, okay.
Yeah, they it was a recipe for disaster, to be honest.
We know someone who still has his laptop.
Yeah,
he never turned it in. He had the charger of the laptop.
they slipped through the cracks.
But he dropped out, so it was easier for him to hold on to it. I think at that point, though, they didn't care too much because that was our senior year, and they were just like, we're getting rid of these anyway. I remember when they phased out the MacBooks, they had this huge sale downtown. I think it was at the baseball stadium, or maybe somewhere else, but it was
some kind of stadium. I remember it being a stadium.
It was like $50 for a MacBook, and like I remember on the news, it was insane.
People were getting trampled and everything.
Yeah, my dad went there and got one.
Does he have one?
It's an iBook. It's somewhere in my room. I don't know. It broke like after a year of use.
Yeah, they were heavily used. It wasn't like they were like
They weren't new in any manner.
yeah,
But
especially like 3 years of being used by like a
High school.
like a middle schooler, yeah, high schooler.
but like a $50, $60 Mac product, people went nuts.
I mean, I work at a big wholesaler, and we have every now and then we'll get sales on like an iPad, and it's like $20, $50 less than the Apple Store has. But when the word gets out, they are gone within the day.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because Apple, everyone knows Apple is dumb, but they do they set their like list prices and their like for sale prices the same, so retailers can't really
Do stuff.
if they do a sale, they're operating at a loss. That's basically like how they get retailers to not put their stuff on sale.
Yeah.
That's why for the longest time my store didn't carry Apple, because we wanted to sell at a wholesale price, but they would not budge, and it caused a conflict where they were just like, all right, well, we won't give you our products anymore. And we're like, all right.
I could be entirely wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure if a store carries an Apple product, that store's not really making profit on it. They're making profit on selling the accessories and stuff. Like
The accessories are ridiculously priced. Like I didn't realize how the wire, like the cords and like the chargers are. I looked at like the little wall wart, like what you plug the USB into the wall. Like it's like $20.
yeah, with an iPhone, I used to just be a sucker and go buy the Apple stuff when I was younger, and now I'm just like, oh, it's Amazon Prime it, like get the Amazon Basics equivalent. It'll work better and like
yeah, because like the little wall wart's only like 1 amp at like 5 volts or whatever. Like compared to like any other charger, that's like really slow, and it's better for your battery in the long run for it to be a slower charger, but faster is better. I don't care.
I don't care.
I'll get a new phone.
I'm only gonna have this phone for like 2 years.
Yeah, I'll get a new phone.
The contract will run out. This thing will probably made to only last 2 years anyway.
Yeah,
They're gonna break it with the next update anyway.
Yeah.
Like I'm not spending $20 on a charger.
Yeah,
unless it's like a speed charger, like that like does like 3 phones at once.
I remember when you had your Apple laptop's charger break, and I went with you to Best Buy.
It was $80.
$80. I was like, excuse me, this is a charger.
Yeah, like that's like I'm on my second charger for my laptop, and I'm making sure to take care of this one.
I spent $11 on mine.
Yeah, like I mean, after this laptop eventually goes or whatever, I don't see myself rebuying another Apple laptop.
The thing is, like, they are nice. Like, they do work really well, and like people really like the interface. The thing that gets me with Apple is just like the price to performance. It's just like not as there. Like if you were to part out and build your own like equivalent like Mac desktop to like a whatever desktop using like the same parts, it'll be around the same price. But they don't use the best price to performance parts. Like in any given stage, like you can make the same performance or even better performance for cheaper a lot of times.
Yeah. I think a lot of times it just comes down to the fact that they tend to be more user friendly for a lot of people, and that gets people hooked.
Yeah,
easy UI.
Yeah,
it has systems in place to stop old people from downloading every virus on the internet.
Yeah.
And like my girlfriend is not exactly tech savvy, but she uses Apple and she really likes it. She had hers break on her. She was willing to shell out $2,000 out the gate to get a new laptop. Ooh. And that's just like how good like Apple is at making sure you stay with them.
They want you to stay in your ecosystem.
And the thing that gets me is like that laptop won't have like a 1070 in it or like a whatever. When if you were to buy like any other laptop that's like $2,000, it's gonna have a dedicated graphics card and like an i7 and
it's gonna have top of the line like Intel processor.
Yeah.
You know, the best card you could fit into that small of a laptop.
Yeah, and it's gonna have like a really. I think what goes into the Apples that make them so expensive is like they have good build quality, and I want to say like almost every screen they put out is Retina display.
Yeah. At least at this one, I'm pretty sure.
And Retina display is kind of like a marketing term.
But it is a good screen, though.
Yeah, it definitely is a good screen. A Retina display, the definition behind Retina display, it means that you can't perceive the pixels at like the ideal use like distance. So like if you got up on a Retina display and like looked really close, you could see the pixels. But if you were like holding like your phone like in a normal user distance, you're not going to see the pixels. That's what Retina display means.
Yeah, and my girlfriend's laptop does have a nice screen. Like,
Yeah.
I was watching YouTube. I was watching some like 4K videos. I was like, wow, this is impressive.
Yeah, the screens are definitely worth it, and that's where you can fall short on and like
Yes, yeah. On
like regular laptops.
PC laptops,
Yeah.
as people refer to them.
You can get like
That's the wide
that
term.
TN display that may be kind of fast for like gaming and stuff, but like that if you tilt it like 1 inch to the left, you get that color shift.
No,
But
is
again,
this
like
CRT.
it is what you pay for.
Yeah, like no secrets here. I am part of the Mac ecosystem, and I'm not very happy about it. When I upgraded my phone this year, I was inches away from going for the Pixel. I went for the iPhone instead because I'm waiting for my laptop to die, because once I have no reason to, like, the fact that my phone works with my laptop almost seamlessly is a big deal for me. Once this laptop's gone, though, I have no loyalty to the iPhone.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the greatest piece of technology.
And I think Google is actually doing a good job of having their stuff work in an ecosystem. Because, like, if you have a Google account, almost like all your stuff is kind of like saved over, and like you can like use it. You can cast to like different devices and stuff really easily. Like if I'm watching YouTube on my phone, I want to switch to my computer. It's actually really easy just to cast it.
And like, yeah, like I have my iPhone, a laptop, and an Apple TV. And they all work really well together, and I'm happy with that. But I'm not happy with the price that I pay for that.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah, when it comes to like compatibility and seamless transition, Google is definitely giving Apple one for the money, if not doing better. Because Google has lots of different assets in a lot of different places that they can use.
Google is trashing a lot of different markets in the world right now.
Yeah, I think Amazon is trying to keep up with that too.
And you can never tell what is a real Google play or not. Like, when like it came out that the fiber was just like they didn't intend to roll it out all the places they said. They set a bunch of places as scare tactics, implemented it to make everywhere cut their prices, and then like, oh yeah, they did what we wanted. Okay. We don't need to do this anymore. Fiber's affordable now. Yeah, you're welcome.
I remember seeing, like, once they talked about Google Fiber, those Verizon trucks rolling out around here.
And that was their goal. They didn't want to implement it. They just wanted to scare everyone else into implementing it. Like,
they wanted to lower the price so everyone else wouldn't have to suffer.
Yeah, it's like, so they put it in some major cities. I know Austin got it, and like a couple other cities.
Yeah.
And like, the companies there watched their user bases drop, and like, they couldn't compete. So then Google was like, yeah, we're going to put it in like, they put out a ridiculous amount of cities that they were going to plan to put it in. And I remember getting calls and stuff here like, hey, loyal Verizon customers are going to be getting a drop in their prices for fiber optics.
Yeah. I was really kind of sad to hear that, like, correct me if I'm wrong, our city isn't getting it, right?
I don't think any city, I think they're done. I think fiber's over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it kind of, it definitely is expensive to, like, put down new lines.
Yeah, it pretty much, I don't think they've said it, but everyone basically confirmed that it was just a scare tactic.
But I was definitely excited, though, at the prospect of, like, my city might get it, and I might get some super cool internet speed.
If I could, kind of, like, the highest internet I've run off so far has been, like, 80 megabytes. It'd be crazy to get a gigabyte internet, or
my dad,
gigabyte internet.
My dad, after dealing with problems with Verizon, I was talking about switching from them. They're scared of losing customers. I'm pretty sure we're paying for $500 for the price of like $100.
Wow.
Like
megabytes?
Yeah.
Dang.
Like they dropped our price when my dad was like, we're gonna switch off of this.
I remember reading somewhere that apparently at NASA, their like upload and download speed for the internet is like 19 gigabytes a second. Like, could you imagine that? You could download the entirety of GTA 5 in a matter of minutes.
I'm not sure if that, like, that might be, like internal servers. I'm not sure you can actually get internet that fast. I don't know.
It might depend on certain things you can connect to.
Yeah. I mean, this is the internet. I'm not taking that for 100% fact. But it's just the idea, That'd be sweet, and it's something definitely possible, like in our lifetime, to have like internet that fast.
Because I know you can have a server and then have like crazy like 10 gigabit like
Connectivity.
Yeah.
From server to server. Yeah.
The internet's a crazy place.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I mean, just human innovation is crazy. What we're doing with technology right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the things where we've been able to do that, like were complete sci-fi fantasies like 50 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's funny to think like our parents have parents, right? And when they were growing up,
No
way. But when they were kids, like our grandmother, she remembers the first person on her block to have a television.
Yeah.
You know, let alone a color TV. And now she's alive in a time where we have, you know, like 8K displays you can buy that have, you know, the craziest amount of like pixels and almost look real.
Yeah.
You know?
And we also have like cell phones in our pockets.
Yeah. Like the what was it from Star Trek? Like the tri tools. Those things that we were like, whoa, wouldn't it be so cool if we had something to talk to someone and take a picture at the same time? And now we're like, oh, let me just call up my friend while I'm on Reddit as I Facebook this thing.
Yeah, I think it's funny. Like they used to like the internet used to drop out of a house if someone picked up the phone, and now you can pause you got a cell phone call and it'll pause your YouTube video automatically, so you can go back to when you're done with the cell phone call.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I mean, Dick Tracy used to have a watch you could use as a walkie-talkie. I have a watch on my wrist right now. I can use to call someone. I can text them. I can even check emails and look at the internet if I want to.
Yeah. Technology advanced so quickly. It's so interesting talking to my parents about that stuff, like, especially because they were born in the 50s.
Yeah.
And, like, my dad especially, who has a job working in, like, internet stuff and doing technology, it's, like, it's crazy to talk about, like, none of the stuff that he uses for his job existed when he was 10, 20. Like,
yeah.
Back in the day, they didn't have internet to entertain them. They just threw rocks at different people. Like, oh, you're different than me? Let me throw a rock at you. That was their entertainment. Now we have...
I don't think specifically my dad.
I mean, now we just throw internet comments at people.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh.
And it's crazy, too, like, not just technology, but, like, with medicine and stuff, how far we've come. Like, the things we can cure and contain nowadays that we couldn't way back then.
Yeah.
I don't have the article up, but, I don't remember what country. It's a European country. But they just made a movement that now anything said on an internet comment can be tried as a real-life hate crime.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's anonymously made?
Yeah.
If they can trace it back to you somehow, they can pin it to you.
If you're in their country, I'm pretty sure. I didn't read the full article, but that's what I got from it. I should have read it. Like, I didn't think that it would be a relevant topic for today, so I just kind of skimmed it. But yeah, like...
Yeah, it's crazy what people are trying to get past with the internet. Like, I like the term that right now we're in the wild west of the internet, where there are rules, but they haven't really been applied to us yet. So right now we're just kind of living out now, and we're just doing our thing.
It's like, restricting the internet is a horrible thing. Like, net neutrality should exist.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, also at that same point, people use it for some pretty awful things.
Yeah. I mean, just look at the what actually goes on in the dark web. Not like what we romanticize in like our TV and whatever, but like actual like.
I downloaded the dark web on my Mac laptop.
Yeah, no, but like I don't claim, I haven't been there. I don't claim to know everything that's on there, but if knowing what humans can do when given the ability to bring the worst out in them, like on the internet, I'm sure it's some bad stuff.
Yeah, the internet's bad as it is. I can't imagine what a dark version of the internet is.
Yeah, like buying and selling of like people and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know drugs is a huge thing on like the dark web.
I knew people who used Bitcoin when it first came out to buy drugs on the dark web.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and Bitcoin is now insanely valuable.
Yeah.
I'm mad at Bitcoin for making computer parts expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for data mining and everything.
Yeah, like I don't think it's specifically Bitcoin, but it's like all the.
Bitcoin was the first like major one to do it. Like, well, people know the term Bitcoin, but a lot of currencies do it. Like,
at this point, Bitcoin is just a catch-all phrase for any cryptocurrency.
I saw a picture of a retailer selling graphics cards, which is that's the computer component that people use to actually mine the Bitcoins. And it was like a GTX 1070, and it was like $600 for one, $600 for two. But if you want to buy more than two, they're $10,000 each because they're like, I'm not losing all of my inventory to these cryptocurrency miners. Like people want a game. People want to I'm not gonna let you ruin that for people.
Yeah, they're not gonna let everyone sell their inventory just for 5 people who want to have $1 million in Bitcoin. They want to have everyone to have something forever they want.
The people that are super into that, they make a lot of money off of it eventually, and then it's a rich get richer kind of thing where the more money they're making data mining, they can buy more computer parts, and then eventually they can afford the $10,000 price tag on those.
It's crazy, honestly, because you'll see these server racks just full graphics card, and they're not cheap. They're like $500 a pop.
It's it's like a cycle.
Yeah,
and if you had invested, I think it was $1,000 back when the Bitcoin first became big. By today's standards, you'd be a millionaire.
Yeah.
If you had kept it,
maybe even more. They went. The bubble I think the bubble has since burst and it's slowly declining.
Yeah.
But at its peak, it was insane.
Your Bitcoins, your Dogecoins, your Kanye coins.
What if you had invested into Bitcoin at its start and sold at the bubble? You'd
be walking out.
You could have been set for life.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like investing in gold. The more people who do it, that drives up the price of gold more. The more it goes up, more people want it, more people buy it.
Yeah. And, I remember when Bitcoin first... not when it first came around, but when people first started talking about it, it was still valued pretty low. And people were making a big deal that it was, the first significant cryptocurrency.
That wasn't really connected to, a country. It had no real backing other than the fact that it's irreplaceable or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that.
And, but other than that, people kind of treat it as a joke.
Mm-hmm.
But then a couple years later, millions upon millions of dollars because I think of its popular usage for stuff like we were talking about, buying drugs and.
It's hard to trace, so it's
like cash. It's not a country currency.
Yeah.
And I still don't completely understand Bitcoin's. It's it's kind of a vague.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's kind of I don't think most people understand what it is. Mm-hmm. And I think if you try to explain it to a lot of older folks, they just be like,
they're like, you can print coins off the internet.
And meanwhile, Grandpa's over there buying weed for his glaucoma.
My grandpa has the dark web. That should be a short.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, you always hear the rumors about the dark web, human trafficking, hitman.
You can buy hitmen. You can buy weapons, blacklisted things.
But I know, the drug part of it is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wonder if there are people out there who use...
At least in America.
Yeah, I wonder if there are people out there who use the gun side of the dark web just to get, past the annoying regulations that, America has on guns. I want a silencer. I'm not going to shoot up a school. I don't want to have to go through, a year's worth of background checks and this and this to get, a silencer to, make my gun look cool. I'm just going to buy it on the dark web.
I wonder what the repercussions for that would be.
Yeah, that's true.
I know, you have to have, the $300 tax stamp and go through, the 6-month, process. It's not even supposed to, it's not supposed to be a 6-month process. It's just how long the paperwork takes, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious to see, I don't know, what the law would be. If you get caught without, your paperwork or something like that, if they just, confiscate it and, give you a fine, or, if it's, a federal thing. I don't know. I'm assuming it's a federal offense.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
It would be the illegal, purchasing of a firearm. I'm sure that has a lot of repercussions.
Yeah.
Because that sounds really bad.
Yeah.
Even if it's something I bought some ammo. But that's still laundering or.
But at the same time, I feel a lot of times you'll see a lot of criminals and stuff with their scratched off serial number guns and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah.
So.
Who knows? Let's find out. Find out next week.
We're gonna do an in-depth. We're gonna be doing an in-depth experiment for the podcast.
That'll be next week's video.
Hey, we gotta get views somehow.
All right, little Timmy. Here's your scratched off serial number gun. Now go. We never saw us, but go talk to the policeman.
Time to rack in that YouTube money by pushing the edgy content.
My cousin got arrested for illegal guns. Not clickbait.
That's gonna be the title of this podcast.
not click romantic question mark.
Romantic.
Gone violent.
And gone violent. Now we got hugely off topic, like 30 minutes worth of off topic, but the SNES Classic.
Oh yeah, that thing we were talking about earlier.
It doesn't have Chrono Trigger pass.
Does it not have Chrono
It
Trigger?
does
No,
not.
it does not.
Chrono. I feel like the only way you can get Chrono Trigger, like officially, like anywhere, is I think it's like $10 on the App Store.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
you can buy it mobile. If you are lucky and you can find the old, like they reported it to the DS.
Really?
I found one of
I
those.
do remember that, yeah.
They ported the DS. I got lucky. I found one. It was like
Or
$100
you can
bucks.
go buy an SNES and buy a cartridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can
Spend
just
a lot
emulate
of
it.
money.
Well-
are the Chrono Trigger cartridges expensive?
Probably.
Anyone want to
I
look into
don't
that?
know. I can look it up.
I remember. I want to say the inbox version at like a game store in the area was like up in the 50s, 60s, maybe in 80s. We had a one game shop near us that's selling an unopened. I think it's like either a limited edition version of Earthbound for like $1,000.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. I don't know if it's worth that or they just don't want to sell it.
Yeah,
But
I
it
mean,
is an in-box, like, sealed Earthbound.
I want to say this inbox. There's a version of Chrono Trigger on eBay going for $3,000.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, is it sealed?
I guess it's sealed.
I mean, it's a great game. I played it. I loved it.
Yeah, I think it's sealed in box.
It has a lot of value. It's an RPG. People regard it as one of the greatest of that generation. It has the Toriyama art style, which people...
Yeah, it's a combination of things I don't think we'll ever see again. A Nintendo and Square Enix partnership with Akira Torima's artwork.
Yeah.
Like, that's a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
Plus, like, it's honestly, the gameplay is iconic. Like, the way, like, your characters interact with each other when they're on the, like, on the screen, like, it has to, like, do with, like, your combos and stuff. And, like, your combos, like, have, like, a certain, like, kind of, like, pattern and path that it'll hit certain enemies. Like, it all depends on, like, timing and, like,
Positioning.
It's
If
really
you get the
interesting.
jump on enemies, you get a favorable position to how to fight the enemies. But if you get the jump on you, you're kind of like crowded together where you can't really hit a good amount of enemies together.
Yeah, it's dynamic and it makes it for a fun experience.
And it's not like it's a weird combination of real time and like turn based because the map is still moving, people are still doing things, but you do an attack, you have to wait for a cooldown to do your attack again.
And there's games like I forget what the game is called on the Switch, but there's a game that's similar to it. I think it's actually by Square Enix and like
I know what you're talking about.
it's like the game that's like always in like the winter.
Yeah.
And it's like there's a girl that's like sacrificing herself for her.
Yeah. Child of Light?
No. I forget. I'll look it up.
Mm-hmm.
But Chrono Trigger, the DS version is like $24.
Yeah.
You can get the cartridge for around $20, $30. Some go as high as $60 for some reason. I'm not sure if it's like a region based thing or something, but it's not. Yeah, they are region locked, so
yeah. And that's how I played the second time. But then talking about games that are like hard to come by, the original Fire Emblem that had Marth, the iconic one, they ported to the DS for a little bit, and even trying to find that cartridge you use is like $80.
I'm insanely interested to see what Nintendo's logic was in not including Chrono Trigger.
It
It was a Square game, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they have Final Fantasy coming onto it.
It probably was one or the other. They couldn't afford both.
Yeah, but I feel like maybe Nintendo doesn't see it this way. Maybe also in Japan it's not this way. But I know in America, Chrono Trigger has a huge cult following. I can't speak for other countries, so...
Yeah.
And I know Nintendo is also very focused on the Japanese market as well. Maybe Final Fantasy was a better seller there than Chrono Trigger.
And it might even be the fact that like we just had Final Fantasy 17 come out, and that's made a big splash. So they're going off that,
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you like Final Fantasy 17? Well, here, come play one of the older ones. So,
But Star Fox 2!
the unreleased one.
I think that needs a release outside of...
People have been putting it on third-party cartridges for years, though.
Really?
Like, the entire game was somehow accessed. And, like, I think a couple, like, beta production cartridges went out there.
Is it
people just printed tons of repo, like, cartridges.
Is it a full game?
Yeah, I think so. No, yeah, it was a finished game that they didn't want to compete with Star Fox 64.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a really interesting way, it all played out.
I haven't seen it at all. I want to see some footage of it.
One of our local game shops has a section for reproduction cartridges and it's a lot of emulator games that are like, not emulator, but like people use emulators to like, oh, I used the engine for Link to the Past and made a whole different Link game, like
Yeah.
using the assets.
Like a retooled game.
Yeah, and then they'll take those offline and they'll make cartridges.
Mm-hmm.
Not the store doesn't do it; they buy them from somewhere. But like, they have a section for reproduction cartridges, and it's really interesting because it's like, it was like Legend of Zelda Ultimate Quest #3, and it's like
there is a huge community out there, people who remake or make their own versions of Pokemon games.
Mm-hmm.
I had a
Pokemon Black.
There was one recently that was like huge and like it got shut down immediately.
Oh,
like Nuclear Green or something like that.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And people said it's really good. It's something I definitely want to try out. And it wasn't even just like an altered Pokemon game. I think it had like 150 like original Pokemon or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a big community. I know someone who's a part of it, and he helps make sprites for some of these people, and he helps make their own games. They have their own lore. They have their own like living, breathing like story going on right now with like all these different people that they've intertwined from the actual series and made their own characters. It's crazy what they do.
And like a long time ago for an old channel of ours, Half Mass Games, I don't think it was either of you, but I recorded a Pokemon Melanite playthrough.
That wasn't me.
I think it was with our friend Justin.
Melanite.
We definitely need to get on one of these podcasts. But it was interesting because it was like an original game or an original story with like good graphics, and it was really interesting. It was like it felt like someone was pouring like everything they had into making this like knockoff Pokemon game that could be shut down like that.
Yeah, it was like you were getting quality you would see from like a whole team of people working on something for a while from just one person. It was just surprising.
Daniel, I'm gonna ask you to look this up. Recently Nintendo shut down M2M, the Metroid remake. Those developers just got hired by someone. I don't think it was Nintendo. Can you figure out who they got hired by?
Yeah. The game I was referring to that's similar to Chrono Trigger is I'm Setsuna.
Ah. That's
yeah.
Okay. And you said
M2M developers. I think they were just hired by someone like an actual like game developer.
M2M.
M2M. Yeah, it was a remake of Metroid 2.
That game needs a remake. Not that like it was bad or anything, but like Game Boy graphics are really outdated compared to nowadays.
It was out for like a week and it was amazing. Everyone says they loved it. Like they had redone I think parts of the soundtrack too and like a bunch of stuff, and then Nintendo shut it down. I mean, it's their right to shut it down. Like
it's their properties, their intellectual stuff. But at the same time,
put like 9 years into it too. It's that was the Pokemon game that was like 9 years.
Yeah, you see, I think the reason why I did it though, honestly, was because this was like what, last year, right?
Not even like I feel like it was like 6 months ago, but it might have been longer.
Yeah, I think the reason why is because we have
coming.
2 Metroid games in the works right now from Nintendo, so I don't think they wanted anything to steal their thunder with that, which is fair.
Speaking of Metroid, because this is a big thing currently going around in like the gaming news, I want to see what you guys think on it. So the new Metroid game for the DS comes out 2 amiibos, but they're packed together, so it's like a $25 amiibo thing. There is a major mode of the game. I think it's like
the hardest mode.
It's the hardest.
There's hard mode, and then there's like crazy insane mode.
Locked behind the amiibo purchase.
It's specifically the Metroid one, not the Samus one, like the Metroid.
Yeah. For the most part, amiibos have been kind of limited to additional items that aren't really important or like cosmetic items. But how do you feel about modes of the game locked behind amiibo purchases? Because people are saying it's basically at launch DLC with a hefty price tag for not a lot of content.
I think the only thing that's like would make me upset is if I could not find amiibo.
But that's also a problem with amiibos.
Yeah.
They're hard to find sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially the ones that do stuff like that. The ones that the Mario ones come out and they do like nothing really. Like the second wave of Mario did something in I think one of the newer Mario parties, like the DS one.
Yeah.
But
not a lot of people have that game, and not a lot of people. It didn't do much, so you could find those amiibos everywhere.
Mm-hmm. And the Animal Crossing ones. The Animal Crossing ones actually kind of like made made retailers make amiibos kind of a little bit cheaper for like the older ones.
Mm-hmm. And then we get stuff like Breath of the Wild comes out, where it's a popular franchise, obviously, so these figures are going to be highly sought after.
Yeah, like I remember I didn't have any money, and I saw the Stalker,
The Guardian, yeah.
the Guardian amiibo, and I was like, I guess I'm spending all the money I have right now.
Yeah.
And
You see, I feel really dumb because, like, even though the amiibos didn't do much, I was one of those guys who, waited in line for 8 hours when I couldn't get a midnight release at, like, a Walmart in front of a Target. And I got really lucky. They had, I think, 5 Legendary Edition Legend of Zeldas left that came with, like, the case and, like, the map, the soundtrack, all this crazy stuff I didn't really need, but I was like, well, if I can get it, I'll get it. So I ended up dropping $400 flat just to get my Switch and that game.
Uh-huh.
And they had a full stock of all those amiibos. And I was like, I just spent $400. Maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe these amiibos won't sell out. I was wrong. It took me till, like, just last week to find the Guardian amiibo again.
Really?
Yeah.
I was able to find all of them except for Zelda.
She was like the rarest one, right?
Yeah. But, like, that's kind of an example. Like, it was so hard to find those, except for the Bokoblin.
Yeah.
But it points out and those didn't even do a ton for your game, but they were cool collectibles.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes me afraid that these Metroid ones, people have been clamoring for anything Samus for
Years.
Yeah.
They put out that Federation Force game the other year. People were like, there's no Samus in this. Why do we care? Like,
Yeah.
It was just a way. I think they made a game and they were like, "How do we sell this?"
yeah, they
The same thing with.
slapped a brand on it.
It's almost like the same thing as the Star Fox game, Adventures.
You see, actually, I've never really cared too much about Nintendo putting, like, certain content behind amiibos, because normally they've kept it pretty tame, what they've kept behind the amiibos. But to be honest with you, I think they shouldn't have put the hard mode behind an amiibo, because I know a lot of people like that challenge, especially for, like, those type of games.
Especially-
I think their thought was that they do want to have some content behind the amiibo because, like, they want there to be a reason for the amiibo. Because I feel like one of the complaints they probably get is, like, they want their amiibos to do something,
Mhm.
and then it's kind of like the flip flop of that side. You know what I mean?
Like, you buy the Boo amiibo, the one that came out in the second with Mario. That's not a character in Smash. What can you do with that?
Yeah,
You
like
can get meat in Breath of the Wild because every single amiibo gives you meat if it's not a Zelda amiibo.
yeah, like people want their amiibos to do something,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like it's like, well, what do you want them to do?
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea that people have their right to be mad about it. And I think if there's a hard time getting that, I think people are going to be upset.
It's a 3DS game that to get the full game on launch, you're going to have to spend $65 for because you have to buy the
Yeah.
you have to buy the
Do we have
game
a-
for
do-
40.
Well, the thing is,
25 for the what?
Do we have Twitter?
Do we have Twitter?
Yeah, do we have a Twitter?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
All right, hit us on Twitter. Tell us your answer.
All
Anything.
one of you listening to the first podcast.
Yeah. and like maybe like if we make it big,
People going back and forth like,
Yeah.
3 years down the line, it's like, oh yeah, I think that's a bad idea. What are you no context or anything, just like a tweet.
Yeah, no, I don't think they should. I think that's an interesting move. I don't know if I agree with it.
well, the thing is, I don't think like it's not like an entire different portion of the game. It's like, oh, like this other complete level that you can only get if you find the amiibo. It's like a really hard mode, and I personally, I'm not gonna be seeking out the amiibo just for like the crazy hard mode. Like I'm not like a challenge seeker when it comes to games. I'm kind of like I'm way more casual, even though I consider myself a gamer. I don't like. I'm not looking for like the hardest challenge. I'm looking to have a good time and enjoy the story and gameplay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but at the same time, like looking back, like if you look at the speedrun community, they adore Super Metroid
Yeah.
because they made it to be like that. You know, you can find these different paths, find these different items in this order. You can get this place faster.
Yeah.
That game attracts people who want that, though.
That's true.
You know, like I guarantee you that people out there who will buy both, the amiibo and the game, and will immediately start that game on the intensity that it is.
I'm thinking if it becomes a bigger issue, like when the game is actually released and like people are mad that they can't get the amiibo, I can see like maybe like it'd be like showing up like you can buy the DLC,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully it would be cheaper than the amiibo.
Yeah.
Or like I don't know.
Now we're reaching close to the end of the time that I think is a good wrap up for our first episode, but I want to get some closing thoughts and stuff for everyone. First off, what are you guys' general thoughts on the SNES Classic? Are you excited? Do you think it's a good selection of games?
If I can get it, I'll buy it. It's definitely a good selection of games. I wish Chrono Trigger was on it, but I can understand like why they might have had a hard time getting on there.
Mm-hmm.
But
or why they made the decision not to.
Yeah, I'll if I have a chance, I'll buy one. But other than that,
I definitely want to get one. I have a lot of fond memories of NES games. Whether it be
SNES games.
SNES games. A lot of fond memories of SNES games. Whether I played them on the SNES or I played a port on like a Game Boy or something. I definitely want to get it. It has a lot of cool games, so I'm definitely going to try and get my hands on one.
Mm-hmm. And I'm in a similar camp to Daniel. I would love to have one, especially for the novelty of it and everything. Like, it's cool. It's a miniature version of gaming history kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think, unless it's a spur of the moment kind of thing, I don't see myself going too far out of the way.
I can't kill myself over getting it, but if there's an opportunity, even if like I have to like kind of go out of my way a little bit or like a good amount, I'll probably still get it.
And 2 more closing questions. Well, this one's simple. SNES or SNES?
Oh, SNES for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, do you call it SNES or do you call it SNES?
I would call it SNES.
SNES.
Or Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
It depends.
That's a big internet thing I've found, that people are divided over SNES or SNES.
I mean, internet gets divided over GIF or GIF. You know, it's just how the internet is.
Well, GIF is peanut butter. And I'll fight you over anything else.
And now, we're about to hit, an influx of games coming out. What's some games you guys are looking forward to? And maybe we can think of some topics for our next week edition.
Destiny 2 looks good.
Yeah, dude. But I know there's going to be one singular game that'll be every single game that's going to be coming out. I don't care if it's Destiny 2. I don't care if it's Ukulele's Switch port. I don't care if it's Super Mario Odyssey. There's one game, I swear.
Stardew Valley?
No.
Oh.
It'll beat everyone. Knack 2, baby. It's going to be the best.
What is that?
Knack 2.
What's Knack?
Knack is back, baby.
I don't.
I'm my money's on Destiny.
I think Bubsy 3D needs a report.
Oh. And also, I feel like this would be too irrelevant to talk about next week, so I just wanted to do a quick discussion on this. Were any of you into the Mass Effect series?
Nah, I couldn't get into it.
I played 1, 2, and half of 3.
I just know it was a big deal that this week they announced that Andromeda is now dead. The developers have moved on to another project, and there's no DLC or anything coming out for it.
Was it a full, like... Was it planned to have, like, DLC?
Yeah, it was planned to... I think it was even planned to start, like, another series and stuff.
Dang.
But they've moved on. That game did not sell well, and I think received well.
After 3, and I think because 3 was so controversial, not that even it was a bad game or anything like that, it had a bad ending. It was just, like, the fact that, like, it was, like, the controversy was so big around it that it was hard to get past that for a lot of people. And there was, like, some... I don't remember hearing any news about Andromeda other than like it's coming out and people are excited about it, kind of. Mm-hmm. And that like when it came out, it was like, oh, like this stuff was wrong with it. Yeah. I don't even remember what was wrong with it.
There's a lot of graphic stuff.
Yeah, I remember it was like I guess like people had like weird faces and stuff.
What happened was
Uncanny Valley kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. What happened was BioWare didn't actually work on the game. EA had a whole different section of EA or Ubisoft, whoever owns it, work on it. And then kind of filtered it through BioWare a little bit. Mm-hmm. And it was a bunch of like beginning developers, beginner designers. They didn't really know what they're doing too much when they're given like a very beloved series and they couldn't obviously do much with it. Yeah. And EA was like, oh yeah, it's good enough. Stamp approval. Ship it out.
Yeah. So recap, all I heard was like small amount of hype, drama about like graphics and stuff, and then like nothing else. Yeah. Like that's not going to sell me the game.
And, like, I feel like it's a big lose, though, I know people are passionate about that series.
Yeah, it's a good series.
BioWare does a good job of really making their characters feel like people. People came they grew to love the people, you know?
That's why, like, the end of 3 was so controversial of it being a bad ending, because people wanted closure with their favorite characters.
Hundreds of choices and decisions you could make that all led to a static 3 decisions. And that's what people were unhappy about.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, honestly, like... I'd be pretty pissed too if like I were to play like, you know, the first Walking Dead and like I made all these different choices throughout all the episodes and if I had played different ways and I got the same ending every time, I'd have been pissed.
Well, this has been our first edition of the DilaBois podcast. Someone brought up Destiny 2 and I have some topics about that, but I think we can talk about it closer to the release date.
Mm-hmm. Also,
build a little hype.
I think Mario Rabbids going to do well.
Oh, that's like less than a week from now.
Yeah, I think that's going to do well.
Well, maybe we'll have to talk about that next week.
Yeah.
If someone can get their hands on it.
I'll try to find out.
But yeah, this has been our first edition of the DilaBois podcast. You're probably listening to this on YouTube if you are listening to this at all. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Dilabytes. Once again, I'm Pete.
Daniel.
I'm Steve.
And hopefully we'll see you next week and many weeks to come. Signing out.
Bye-bye.